Really important that we get support and other helplines like us get support.
Thank you very much, Marjorie. As I say, we'll definitely be talking again. Marjorie Wallace there from SANE. Here's Bill with details of London's roads.
Something you don't believe in because they'll say that your inside it is a change for good or a force for change or something of that kind. Vanessa Phelps.
This is London.
BBC Radio London.
We are reacting to the Prime Minister, Chief Medical Officer and Science Officer, a real gear change today. And I honestly came in my house today. I listened to Vanessa and Robert Elms. That part of the show is always fascinating for me. When Vanessa ends her show and goes into Robert. What they talked about was quite fascinating because Vanessa said for the first time she and her fiancé sat down and made a plan, which is exactly what we did. And in my house, Anna O'Neill's with me, our intrepid reporter. Did you make a plan in your house, Anna?
Well,
did you have a conversation?
We had a family meeting last week.
Yes, you did say. Sorry.
We had a family meeting because we were due to go on holiday next month, which we've now cancelled.
Oh, you've cancelled it?
Yeah, well, because there's absolutely no point in going.
Don't know, because I feel like you're judging my mum and my wife, which is fine. Because I do
nothing.
Because my mum is coming and my wife is going. And funny enough, we had one of those meetings, but in ours, it's slightly odd in my house. And they started to talk about once we're isolated, if we're isolated, we will watch a film that makes us cry.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I've gone for Champ, my wife's gone for Imitation of Life, and the boy's gone for Endgame.
I'd have to go for The English Patient.
I see.
Can't watch that without crying my eyes out.
Dan White is on the line. Dan, I've been watching your tweets. You're our Minister for the Disabled, aren't you?
Yeah, it seems to be today.
Well, no, that's what you are.
So many buttons.
Much of what we discuss is about your daughter, about your wife. Last time we spoke, her back was out. How is she?
She's still waiting for an operation. Only worry is now because she's waiting for a back operation. Emmy's waiting for a back operation, but of course with the coronavirus, unfortunately spreading into hospital.
Yeah.
The worry is now that both of these are going to be cancelled.
Yeah, my phone is going off more for. I was supposed to be doing, I don't know, the World Cancer Day. That's cancelled. I was supposed to be going, but my phone is just pinging. Everything is cancelled, which makes sense because a lot of this is to alleviate pressure on the NHS. But one of the things that I've been forced against my will to talk about today, because the pressure is so great on it, is anxiety. You heard Marjorie Wallace from SANE there. Tell me about your daughter. How's it impacting on her?
Well, Emma had to stay off today, and that was purely down to her anxiety about the coronavirus. Emily suffers PDA autism as well. So, of course, lack of information from the echelons above us does feed down. Our children are aware of the lack of information, the lack of food from government. So, of course, Emily is very, very anxious about going into school today. But schools have managed the situation really well. She's got a counsellor to meet her at school tomorrow to help take that fear. But, yeah, she's finding it tough.
What conversations last week Anna and I were talking, we've been basically having our private conversations on air, Dan, and we've been talking about what conversations you have with young people, how to be appropriate with a 10-year-old. What conversations, and how can I be assured, because I am going to judge you here, that that anxiety hasn't come from you?
No, the anxiety hasn't come from me. We've been very open with Emily. We've done the sensible thing, which is avoid all the tabloid headlines.
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
playing a major part in
Yes.
misinformation. But I mean, ideally, we've been just discussing it with how it's very much flu-like symptoms, how obviously people have to stay at home if they get it. You don't want to put fear into children. You can only give them the information you've got to hand. And sadly, with the government around us failing to really give us much to go on, there's only so much you can say. But
Not today. You weren't reassured today.
No.
Don't go. No gatherings.
No.
Don't go to the pub. Don't go to the restaurant. Don't go to the cinema. Don't go to the theatre. That was quite clear today, wasn't it?
Sort of clear, but once again, there was no context in there for parent carers and people who rely on home care. I mean, we're still effectively left out of the conversation as to what particularly means for my situation was probably repeated up and down the country. I'm looking after two people on my own. One, Emily could be quite prone to coronavirus if she gets it. If I get it, where am I going to self-isolate firstly, and who is going to step into very much...
Tell me a question and
high care?
I'll ask it for you, Dan. Because I feel it.
That is the question, yeah. That is the question. Who is going to step in, all these households across the country, for the 1.5 million disabled children? If the parent care is caring for someone on their own, who's going to step in and do that care? You can't get a friend or neighbour to do it because they're not medically trained. So in a care system that's been destroyed by successive governments all the way down the line, where are these people going to come from to step in who've got the right qualifications to do it and have second notice? That's the big issue for all of us.
Stay healthy, Dan, and stay safe. I appreciate you coming on the show and pointing out things. Quite often, we don't think of things that don't impact on us directly, but you know, Dan, because you've been on the show enough times, who cares for the carer has been a big part of what we've done with Drive. I'm going to speak to Councillor Stephen Cowan in a little while, who will give us a perspective. He's the leader, by the way, of Hammersmith and Fulham. Before we do that, Anna, who's staying with me through the show today, we've got the latest figures now, Anna.
Well, if you, like me, have been waiting on Twitter for the Department of Health and Social Care, you're probably still waiting to find out how many people have now died. But I've just seen it flash up that Health Secretary Matt Hancock has said that 53 people have now died. Of course, it was 35 people yesterday. So that's up 18 from yesterday, and the number of people infected, as far as we know, is 1,543. That's up 171 from yesterday. And of course, those people who we know have been tested, they've been tested because they're in hospital, because they're serious enough to go into hospital. So there may be many, many more people who are experiencing much milder symptoms or none at all, who also have the virus.
Thank you. And Councillor Cowan, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you, Eddie?
Well, I'm healthy today, but my journey in was I went out to eat. It was my wife's grandmother's anniversary, and it was very sparse in Westfield. Really came in on the tube, people with masks on, Nike Town, as I say, Apple closed. What's happening in your part of town?
I think it's surreal all over the world. I mean, a month ago we were all carrying out, a week ago pretty much, we were all carrying out our lives as normal and watching this thing on TV, and now we feel like we're in the early stages of a completely different way of life. And I think it's going to take quite a bit of time for us to come to terms with that as we face down and begin to tackle this disease. But it's something we're all going to have to do.
In terms of cleaners, let's start with that, because I imagine, like a lot of local authorities, that's outsourced, or major parts of it are outsourced. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos